It's Champ Chat, where we discuss the greatest league in the world, the Championship. And with me, I got Wedge.
Hello.
I got Phil.
Good to see everyone.
And what we can't talk about, what is it? It's
Pompey Leeds.
Pompey Leeds, because that is kicking off today. We're recording this Sunday morning down the Brickies.
Will we ever see Leeds on a Saturday again?
No. They've gone. They've ascended to the world of TV now. Sky. They belong to Sky now.
They belong to Sky all along.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
we're never going to see them again.
They're the 20+1 of the Premier League.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, they always have been. They were one of the big boys back in the day,
yeah.
weren't they?
Yeah.
I'd still argue if they were to go up there, because they'd be one of the big boys straight off the bat. I think they'd surpass, not necessarily in terms of where they'd finish in the league, but in terms of like fan base and in terms of like prestige,
rivalries and things
they
like
would,
that,
they would go straight into sort of just below the top 6 to 8 teams, I think.
Well, you'd hope that first season under Bielsa, this becoming the Premier League podcast, that season under Bielsa, they did do well their first season. Second season, I think he just shagged them out, to be honest.
Yeah, he did.
They were knackered.
They were absolutely shagged, weren't they? Yeah, they were absolutely knackered. So, but they've got a very different way of playing now.
Farker's a lot more pragmatic.
Yeah,
in how
and
he does
ultimately
it.
His record is a lot better this season than even the promotion season of Bielsa. So
easy win for Leeds then.
I think they'll have too much.
Yeah.
Personally,
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll have too much for Pompey, and I think that obviously we said earlier on in the week that we managed to see Pompey up close the other day, and they're a different kettle of fish at home. But the reality of the situation, from my point of view, is that they're threadbare at the back, and if you want to be threadbare anywhere against Leeds, you don't want to be threadbare at the back. I think that they'll tear them a new one.
Yeah.
I'm looking at 3s, 4s. Today, I think, for Leeds to make a statement, because they have to. If you look at, we're talking about the Championship. Let's talk about the Championship. The top 6 all played, with the exception of Leeds, and all of them won.
Yeah.
And that gap from the playoff sort of dotted line from 6th place upwards, even though it was only small, that gap rose this weekend because of the results. Bristol City drawing, Watford losing. Like there's a fair few, Norwich drawing as well. There's a fair few that are below that dotted line that will want to keep up, and they just simply didn't this weekend.
So performance of the week, because you mentioned Leeds might get 3s or 4s. The only one from the top 4 that got a 3 or a 4 was, of course, Burnley. But I wouldn't put it down as a performance of the week.
No.
But it was a routine performance of the week.
Yeah, it was take advantage of Cal Naismith dropping a bollock performance of the week. You can't be going into challenges and giving the referee a decision to make like that. I think that's the thing. Whether you consider that he got the ball, whether you consider it as soft, whatever it was, the point is, if you're already on a yellow card, you cannot lunge in.
Especially in that area of the pitch as well.
Why? That was like the Liam Walsh zone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Burnley again don't have to get out of first gear, do they? I mean,
No.
they had plenty of shots. I mean, the only thing you can fault them with was probably not getting more on target. But
Not without controversy, though, as Matt Bloomfield was crying about in his post-match. I don't know if you guys saw the post-match. He was blaming everything. Balls on the pitch, ball out of play, the referee this, the referee that. I'm glad we're getting the Luton Burnley game out the way first.
Yeah.
Like, we'll discuss it more in the Luton Town show, which will actually drop tomorrow on the channel. But like that brings them much closer to Leeds. But Leeds will obviously put a bit more daylight between them now. But I guess it's Sheffield United they're trying to catch, right?
Yeah, I mean they are, but also you look at all they need is the most minute of slips from either Leeds or Sheffield United. I think personally, when I look at the fixtures, I see that slip coming from Sheffield United rather than Leeds, and all it would take would be for Sheffield United to draw a game and Burnley to win one. Burnley's goal difference is mighty compared to Sheffield United.
I mean, during the game yesterday, at one point Burnley were in second whilst Sheffield United were drawing. So, like I say, it's just a little slip up. But then that goes the other way as well. If Burnley slip up,
it does. It does. But like I say, the recipe for Burnley, I see as being pretty sound. I know that they've struggled to score goals before they play Luton Town. They scored 8 goals against Luton.
Dr. Luton, we'll see you now.
Yeah.
But Luton only one of the teams to score against them though, so we'll take that first game of the season.
10% of your goals, you'll never sing that. Whereas I think Burnley probably only make up like 6% of the goals we conceded this season. Who's winning?
But it looked to me like Sheffield United had a tough game yesterday against Preston. There was a few situations against Preston yesterday. I think.
Did you see that
Preston,
Tyrese Campbell miss at the back stick? Ball comes across,
straight
he hit the side
netting, wasn't it?
Yeah. He's lucky.
They made up for it with a proper ballsy header.
Yeah, it was a ballsy header, and he's lucky that he got that, because otherwise his confidence would have taken a bit of a kick. But
the cross in for him. That's the cross.
Was
Of
that
dreams,
Burrows?
Wonderful cross.
Was it Burrows'
That was
cross?
Burrows. Of course, it was Burrows.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like
the Wandy
everything
left
Alfie Doughty wishes he was this season.
Wandy left foot that guy's got.
Right where you want it as an attacker, wasn't it? So
Yeah, so it's tight up there, basically, is the point I was going to make. And Burnley obviously took Luton to pieces without having to do particularly too much.
I think you'll find Luton took themselves to pieces.
Well, we said, you're right. It was a mixture of both. It was one of the more predictable scorelines that anyone could have had this weekend. And it's
classic top of the table versus relegation, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but relegation without the element of fight about it. You look at some of the other
players
teams around.
Hull, who are also down to 10 men.
Hull, Stoke.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about Hull and Stoke, because this was divulging into the Luton Town show.
It was.
The last thing I'll say about it is like I'll save it for the Luton Town show. I was going to say that it's a relegation battle, but do the players know that they're in a relegation battle? But we'll shelve that and discuss that for the Luton Town show.
We need some content for the Luton Town show.
Of course. So on to Hull. João Pedro.
What a turn for his goal. And I think he was still spinning when he went in for the tackle, wasn't he?
Dickey just on the ground. Oh, he was done. Dickey was done. It was hilarious.
Unbelievable. It was one of those ones where, when you watch the replay back and you kind of go, even if he didn't touch him as hard as would have been seen excessive for, it was just the fact that it was like a Sunday league.
If you were to put him into an F1 car and do an X-ray, that's exactly what it was. He was sitting back with his feet up, straight into the player, wasn't he? Like, moment of madness from him, but
what a pillock as well. Another stupid decision early in the first half, like Cal Naismith for Luton.
Yeah,
he'd individually got his side into a winning position away from home. And he's mugged them all off by a moment of madness.
Is that a 3-match ban for him?
It's straight red.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been sent off before, but if it's his first, then that's a straight red.
Yeah. So, and then obviously Bristol City just huffed and puffed. And that, from their point of view, we've spoken about them on the show before. I know there's a long running amount of banter between Bristol City and Ollie, but I'll say it on his behalf this week. So that is why you won't go up, because if you cannot beat 10 men Hull at home and you're chasing to get into the playoffs, that's why. I'll take it this week.
What their plan of action is, get it to Twine on the edge of the box, see if Twine can bend one in. That is literally their entire plan. And I've said it so many times, and thank you for backing me up, they got no quality throughout their team. They got the odd star, they got Twine, they got Mehmeti. It was a good penalty from Mehmeti. But ultimately, there's no quality through their team. It's a workman-like team. And, their manager needs he plays a possession-based type of football based on having quality through the team, which Bristol City just don't have.
It's just, like I say, from their
they're in a great position.
They are in a great position.
Well, I don't know how they got up there. I think they fell.
So, that would indicate that they were further up. I just feel like that's this weekend, and football's like that. Sometimes you just feel like everything's gone against you, and that's what Bristol City fans will be feeling like this weekend. Like I say, when you look at everyone above them has gone on and won, but you can't be. And the argument would be what we just said about the Burnley Luton game. So you look at it and you think promotion chasers versus relegation should be easy 3-pointers, right? But you look at how Hull obviously showed a lot of fight in comparison to Luton.
What is fight?
Exactly, we don't know about that. But But the point I'm trying to make is that there are very different sort of types of games. But you would expect at home for Bristol City to still turn that round with so much time on the board as well.
25 shots. They had 9 on target.
Yeah.
And they come out with a 1-1 from a penalty. I mean,
Scott Twine, he's lethal from the edge of the box, isn't he?
So yeah, they ultimately they'll potentially we sometimes say about performance of the week on this show, that will be the sort of desperation, not very good, oh bugger, it didn't pay off of the week will probably be Bristol City. Missed opportunity of the week. There you go. Let's cut that one in. Instead, it's missed opportunity of the week for Bristol City.
Well, they've gone above Blackburn. And Blackburn's another one of those teams where it's like, how they get up there? They fell.
How they get down to where they were? Because talk about performance of the week. I mean, it's got to be Derby, hasn't it? Really,
you know, hell of a performance, but without giving them too much credit. Like fair play, because that was fight. But I messaged Phil and said, "Did you see that defending for Derby's 2 goals? That was Luton-esque defending.
It was shocking. The defending there.
Yeah, first goal in particular, just nod.
Yeah. What was that? It was like I had to watch that back a few times. I was like, is that a head tennis? No, it's a shoulder. It's just come off someone's shoulder and dropped to the back post.
Yeah.
And the keeper kind of came out and missed it.
Flat.
Yeah. And the second goal, the 2 Blackburn defenders just kind of tackled themselves, but that's the kind of luck you need when you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're not bottom anymore.
You got to hold on to it. You got to hold on once you've got ahead. And I think the Gay goal was good. It was very good. But Blackburn really should have done more. Why didn't they bring on Cauley Woodrow much earlier? Their saviour. I think the playoffs are done for them. I think 3 of the positions are done. It's like a bunch of teams wrestling for that final spot. And one of them who I don't think will make it, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Middlesbrough struggling. Middlesbrough struggling. I had that one down as a draw. I thought that they'd have enough to get a goal at Swansea, but no, their form's dropping right off. It's to the point where a few weeks ago you might recall that we spoke about Michael Carrick and whether or not he's.
I reckon he's gone at the end of the season.
Do you reckon?
No point getting rid of him now. Like they're not.
Yeah, but is there a point in getting rid of him now so that they can? They're in a position where they could make a push.
Oh, they'll be shopping around.
Yeah,
they're probably having conversations about it.
What's the worst case scenario if they got rid of Carrick right now? Right, if that's their long term plan, if they're thinking right, okay, it's not working. Worst thing that happens is that you get a new manager in, they plummet down to 14th, 15th in the 10th. They're not going down. They've already got too many points to go down. Then if the new manager doesn't get an immediate bounce and they make a playoff push, he gets to know the squad. He gets to know the club before the start of next season. It's a no-loss situation if that he's lost the confidence of the board and the fans.
Yeah, at some points when Middlesbrough were coming forward with the ball, it looked like the players were half cut. To be honest, honestly, like you see them lumbering forwards. You're watching Iheanacho charging forward. You're like, is this guy pissed?
Well,
he looks
stark contrast from before Christmas, isn't it?
They were lethal.
Yeah. But then, I mean, you look at Swansea; they've had a bit of a upturn, haven't they? Under Alan Sheehan.
They have. Yeah, a couple of wins in the last 3 games. So they're the ones that we were kind of sort of hoping.
I thought they were going to get sucked in.
That they would get sucked in, but nah, they're fine. That's them and above. I think are absolutely fine now. They're on 44 points. I think we discussed before. I reckon as low as sort of 44, 45 points will be enough to stay up in this league this year.
You're really looking at a bottom 6 there, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, it's 3 out of 6, isn't it?
Properly become a little mini league now.
Yeah.
And fair play Swansea, because as you said, we thought they were going to get sucked in. That Eom goal, that's pretty much what they brought him in for.
What a goal.
Brilliant.
Brilliant goal.
The way he drove with the ball and had the shot.
Cut across his man and then curled it in,
Yeah.
There weren't too many brilliant goals, but I think that was
it was probably the pick goal of them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about some not so brilliant goals. The one that took my eye was, if we're talking, we didn't even talk about the Mark McGuinness own goal. We'll talk about that a bit more in the Luton Town show. But for me, own goal of the day, even better than Mark McGuinness's one, was Ogbeta for Plymouth. That was a sensational own goal. Not because he didn't curl it in from like 30 yards or anything, but he wasn't exactly under the biggest pressure.
No,
he
the
just,
man
and his
behind
body
him,
shape
that was it.
Just kick it back like from where it came.
Yeah, it's the body shape thing, wasn't it? It was just sheer panic in his own 6-yard box, knowing there's a guy behind him. What shape am I? How do I get it out? And then just hit him into the...
I was thinking, had he played for Sheffield Wednesday or something before? Because that own goal was absolutely awful.
I mean, that's we're talking about sort of performances of the week, and obviously I think you are right on balance of it that Derby is probably as big a result as we could have predicted this weekend. But Sheffield United to go away, Sheffield United are not in the greatest of form. I've done it again. I've done it again. Sheffield Wednesday, we're not in the greatest of form, but they've picked up the most wonderful 3 points on the road ever. And I think that probably on balance, they're the performance of the week.
Direct your hatred towards Phil. Okay, not me.
Oh no.
He wears the red and white.
No.
I think you're going to have to do an unfiltered take on
why I need to apologise to all Wednesday fans.
Just talk about how good Sheffield United are. Well, I did that earlier this season, didn't I?
But yeah, in all seriousness, going away to home park, regardless of what Plymouth's situation is, to go away to home park that's where their form lies. Plymouth, I think that's a really, really good performance from Sheffield Wednesday.
Stuck the landing.
Yes.
There were a hell of a lot of yellows in this game. Just looking down the list, 4 yellows in the space of 8 minutes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Really? Feisty. You don't really get the feel of that from
argument,
from the
foul,
playoffs.
Time wasting argument.
Wow.
And then Plymouth had another one 6 minutes later.
Yeah. Fiery first half.
I don't see them anymore.
And I said we were talking about this off air, weren't we? I said in the prediction show that you did with me that Katic would eat Patterson for breakfast.
Yeah.
How wrong I could be.
Yeah. I think that, like you say, I wonder if it's now a case of the rails, trains started to come off the track, sort of thing, a little bit for Plymouth, and that initial bounce they got and that cup run. I
think the cup run drained them.
Yeah,
it's finished them,
and taking the focus away as well a little bit, perhaps. Don't know, but yeah, they're starting to look like Luton as a bit of a shoe-in for the relegation spots. Unfortunately for the Argyle fans.
Should we talk some Freaky Friday? So not the Friday night game. I want to talk about teams body switching. So Watford Millwall. So it was 2-1 to Millwall. And it was really funny because Watford scored a very Millwall-esque goal, whereas Millwall kind of scored... Well, they scored 2 very nice goals. I'd call them Watford-esque goals. 2 very tidy finishes from Millwall. But Watford's one was just...
Millwall's first goal was... what's the fella's name?
Denor,
yeah.
It was fantastic.
Letting the ball come across. I mean, it was at pace. And just open up his body and guide it in. I thought was a very good technical finish. But like you said,
very un-Millwall.
Yeah.
Whereas Watford's one, it was Matty Pollock channeling his Jake Cooper.
I mean, how open at the back post was Pollock.
Like his hands on the back. He's pushing his marker away.
There was no one near him. He literally, like, the Millwall fella just didn't follow him, and he was at the back post and popped it in. But
peak Jake Cooper.
It was peak Jake Cooper. I've said it before on here. I always feel like Jake Cooper's worth a tipple on first goal scorer, just because of that prowess that he's got from set pieces. But Pollock got it done yesterday. I thought that when Watford went ahead, that would hold on. That would be it. But
defending was awful though. Especially, I think it's a Banqua letting Connolly through, and Connolly just missed out.
There was a couple of poor defensive choices. Wasn't there?
Very un-Millwall-esque. I mean, the goal was very Millwall-esque, but the defending was not, because the amount of times Millwall got in round the sides, behind as well. Both goals were a case of them getting around the sides, around the back, as former Watford alum John Barnes would say in his rap. That's, defend and attack, get around the back, and that's exactly what Millwall did.
There's 2 teams vying for where to finish middle of the table, aren't they now? So
playoffs are done. It's 6 teams going for 1 spot.
Yeah.
And Coventry have that spot. Spot nil, don't they?
Yeah, Coventry, speaking about teams that have had a bit of a role reversal, Coventry's first goal yesterday was as Stoke as it gets. Long, flat throw-in from Van Ewek, or however you say his name.
Header.
Yeah. But great header by Torp. Absolutely wonderful.
Torpedo.
Header by Torp. Yeah, there you go. I think that I watched this game yesterday, and it was one of those ones where I think if anything but a Coventry victory came out of it, it would have been quite frankly ridiculous. And you might look at the way that the goals went in, and might look at the way that the game went, but there's reasoning why I say that. So first of all, they score very different goals. I think that the first Torp goal was obviously torpedo throw, and he got on the end of it. Second goal was Sakamoto doing wonderful wing work, little nutmeg, played it into Torp, quick feet in the area, plastered it into the bottom corner, which was great. And then the crux point for me, and the reason why I think that it would have been criminal if Coventry didn't win, was the fact that Ephron Mason Clark got absolutely minced in like mid-air, and the keeper let his leg out. I'm sorry, he did.
I don't think it was as bad as.
It's a penalty, Ollie, all day long. Whether it's a red card or not, it's a penalty all day long.
There was
it's not as bad as Millwall against Mateta, but
no, it wasn't.
When you've seen that last week and you see the keeper come out, and he's got nowhere near the ball. He's taken out the player.
He's made sure he's put his leg across to make sure that he doesn't get through. So that is a penalty at the very least. Okay.
If there's no contact, the forward isn't falling over, is he? The forward's not just gonna.
I thought Mason Clark made a bit of a meal out of it, holding his head. Like, he didn't even get a hit.
No,
I mean, I
you can't fake head injuries. That's the main thing. I watched it back a few times to see why is he holding his head? How serious was that? And it was just sort of a knee into. It was his leg, wasn't it?
It was mainly across his midriff, wasn't it?
And obviously when you're up in the air, you're going to lose balance very easily. But I don't think it like on a scale of. It wasn't like Frederick Battiston. That's one for the oldies. Harold Schumacher coming out like completely.
Absolutely.
Knocking him out. I think broke his neck, knocked out like 6 teeth.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Mateta last week. No. It was like very low on the scale of that.
Yeah. But that was just the one injustice for Coventry fans. And then you fast forward to the second half. Stoke, where credit's due, I thought that Berger's feet and quickness of thought was fantastic to get an assist and get them back in the game. But Sam Gallagher's second goal, from a lovely cross, but he was offside all day long. He started offside, he ran to offside, and he planted the ball with his head when he was offside. And that was 86 minutes in. So the fact that Coventry were aggrieved about the fact that they could say they didn't have a penalty, at least they've conceded an offside goal for sure. The fact that they got it over the line with a win in the 97th minute, that was thoroughly deserved. And what struck me, we've spoken about squad depth and how good Coventry's squad is. The subs that they brought on, mate, were like you're bringing on Ben Sheaf, like you're bringing on Latibodier, and you're kind of thinking, God, these guys have got some serious talent available to them.
As I said, 4th best squad in the league. I'd say their squad's better than Sunderland's.
Yeah. So I said it yesterday. I think credit where credit's due. I think that there's a real mix-up of different goals that they've scored there. The one thing that I would say that we need to potentially be aware of is that they've got Derby in their next game at Derby, which you would expect the form to continue. Coventry
Super
1-9
Frank Lampard Derby.
Frank Lampard Derby, yeah. I hadn't thought about that until he's just said that, And then the next 3 games are hard for Coventry. That's where we'll see what they're made
test,
of,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's where we see what they're made of. They've got Burnley, Sheffield United, and Sunderland. Can't remember what order, but they've got those 3. So as much as we're saying that they're looking like they're nailed for 5th, they lose all those 3, and it's feasible. They could.
It's dress rehearsal for the playoffs, isn't it?
Exactly. So they've got some. We'll know a lot more about Coventry in a month's time. Put it that way.
Yeah, and we'll know more about Frank Lampard because everyone's saying apologise to Frank Lampard. No. I'll not apologise to Frank Lampard. I have a great pedigree on Football Manager. I could have taken this Coventry team and got them on this run. We'll find out more about Frank Lampard after the toughies.
I'd like to ask a question. As you said you watched the game. Could you get much of a feel for a reception for Mark Robins going back to Coventry?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't pay too much attention to that one. I was very much sort of watching it whilst doing other things, but listening to music mainly. But they obviously made a big thing. He was you know what the camera works like at the CBS Arena at the best of times. Like, oh, Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Frank Lampard. And oh, Frank Lampard.
It's Mark Robins' shoulder.
So, but like I say, there was a few of those yesterday, wasn't there? There was a Eustace derby as well.
Yeah.
And there was another one as well. And can't recall. Oh, it was Sheffield United versus Preston North End.
Oh, Heckingbottom. But no one cares about Heckingbottom.
But there was a few little weird little nuanced situations yesterday. But overall, Coventry absolutely deserve the 3 points.
But regarding the other teams that could make the playoffs, so we got the Norwich game to talk about and the West Brom game to round it up. With Norwich, don't know. You got to hold on.
Yeah,
got to hold on to your wins. It's good to see Sargent back and firing again, but he can't do it alone.
No.
And there was some absolutely sensational passing, especially when Ono Hernandez came on, threading some beautiful balls through. But you got to be putting them away.
Also, there was one in literally the last minute where I think it was Borja Sainz was through, and he didn't. I mean, technically speaking, he didn't do much wrong. He kept it low, trying to go through the keeper's legs, but 90th minute, those are the sort of situations that get you a playoff spot, and
it's getting harder and harder now. Oxford's goal, bit of a weird one, long throw in, and after that you got to win your second balls, but the second ball no one knew where it was. Everyone was like, where's it dropped? And then Mark Harris puts it in. Fair play.
I mean, you look at the table now, they're 6 points. We just made a comment. Sorry to chuck you under the bus here, Wedge, but you just made a comment about where in mid-table do Watford and Millwall finish. Yeah. Bear in mind there. So Millwall are on 48 points, Watford are on 49 points, and Norwich are now on 49 points. So it kind of makes you feel the same
West
thing.
Brom on 55?
Well, I think that means Norwich don't really have a chance at the playoffs. I think it's been a tough first season for Hoffarup. Really has. They look good in parts. Very streaky though, and I think, to be honest, it's one spot to play for because Cov could do badly in those 3 toughies, but I don't see them dropping off. Cov have built up quite a buffer now. I don't know how many points it is, but I had a look and thinking, whoa, they got some proper daylight between them and 6th place 56. Now. And
Coventry 56, West Brom Coventry 5th 56, West Brom 6th 55, Bristol City 7th 53,
and then Blackburn.
Oh, so they haven't got proper daylight yet. It's the daylight between Sunderland and Cov, but I think give Cov a bit more time. They'll get tighter in there.
If you look at goal difference, Cov's goal difference is 6, West Brom's is 14, Bristol City's is 7.
Considering where Cov have come from, though, because considering they were rooted near the bottom and they've just taken off like a freight train. Fair play to them.
Like I say, those 3 games are key for Coventry, because if they don't pick up points there, I mean, confidence, it could easily go the other way. So we'll see what they're made of. And like I say, Norwich down on 49, 6 points behind West Brom.
I think West Brom have that spot though. I think Mowbray's gonna just keep doing what he does. That Furlong red card, there's no need for that. Do you see the red card?
Yes.
The camera barely picked it up. And
was it an?
Yes.
I couldn't see any other angle from that. I'm also looking at the QPR player. I can't remember his name. He's the little lightweight fella.
Is it Chair or Smythe?
No.
Was it? If it's Chair, then fair play Furlong.
What's his name?
I don't know who it was that had
I thought it was Min Hyuk or Kei Sato. It was one of those 2.
Oh, was it? I didn't see who was on the receiving end of it.
I think it was Sato.
And to be honest, I mean,
camera work didn't do any justice.
But he could easily just run into him and fell over.
No, there was intent. There was intent.
Fair enough.
Furlong's a bit of a dirty player.
He can be, can't he?
Yeah. But just a penalty, the difference between these 2.
Yeah.
You just got to keep winning your games. And
I think for West Brom they've got a major sort of joker up their sleeve, and that is Armstrong. I know he only scored a penalty yesterday, and that's only his second goal for him. But
he's
not been there long. And yeah, exactly. Championship striker, absolutely brilliant. I mean, he obviously got Southampton up last year as well. I just think that he's such a good player at getting teams over the line in this league, and he could be the difference between West Brom going up or not.
Shall we talk about West Brom next game away to Burnley, home to Hull, away to Norwich, home to Sunderland.
Well, that's a gauntlet, isn't it?
Away to Bristol City.
Yeah, well, Bristol City, they'll win that.
So
actually, no, Bristol City will get a draw, won't they? Because they're
Bristol City at home.
hard working.
Yeah.
So
because they're hard working.
Yeah.
They're hard working. We've already said it about Bristol City, and I bet the TikTok admin for Bristol City doesn't bother watching this. His attention span probably is based on what he sees on Twitter, but I wasn't wrong. Especially about Stoke, I wasn't wrong. Like everyone forgets I said Stoke were a joke as well in that. Just saying.
Needless to say, I had the laugh again.
thank you, Partridge. I think that's everything covered, really.
Did we speak about Sunderland?
Oh no, we didn't. Okay, best till last.
So they've done exactly what I asked them to do. A few weeks ago, I said that they just need to keep on winning, and if the teams around you are winning, you're drawing. You're in the mire, and they didn't. They won. So,
it was a bit sweaty for a while, though.
I'll tell you what, it was a wonderful, wonderful second goal, though. Like I've got a lot of time. You can see the excitement in my face about. I love a set piece like that.
It was a beautiful.
It was such a wonderful training ground set piece. I get really excited about those sorts of things. It wasn't even necessarily like an original thing. It was just really well done.
Right, well, when Argentina played England in the '98 World Cup, and their goal where they passed it, that gave me vibes of that, which isn't one of my favourite goals to remember, but I like to draw comparisons.
Yeah, but like I say, I just thought that it was it's fair play to them. I think they've got Mienda that's in form at the minute. And again, it's another one of those situations where you've got a promotion pushing team playing against someone that, granted, they're not in the relegation zone, but they know that they're in a fight in Cardiff, so they will fight, and they've had to get it over the line. They've done that at home. That's the difference from what we've been speaking about other teams in this particular chat. So, fair play to Sunderland.
They keep going, don't they, Sunderland? You got to respect what they're doing. I think they're having an absolutely astonishing season, I think.
Yeah, considering where they were last season, and Phil's right as well. They need to just keep grinding out those wins, because you cannot go into the playoffs with you can't go into a playoff like that. You got to be.
You have to have form.
Firing. Yeah, you have to carry momentum.
Yeah, and find different ways of winning as well. You can't blow away teams every week. Not everyone can do what Leeds have done in certain periods of the season. Like, you have to scrape over the line in certain ones, and that's exactly what they did yesterday. So different ways to win, keeping that winning mentality, taking some form into the playoffs, and fingers crossed for them, I guess. Yeah,
fair play Cardiff, because just above the relegation zone, but come off the back of two very tight games against Sunderland and Burnley, both 2-1 losses, very tight. Could have gone either way. Like they really did attack Burnley as well.
See, again, I look at their upcoming fixtures for Cardiff.
Well, they've got a very tough game next, haven't they?
They've got another guaranteed 3 points. That'll be really hard. They've got Luton at home, then they've got Blackburn. Obviously, it's a relatively difficult game. Then they've got Wednesday, QPR, Preston, Stoke. Like, they can pick up points, is what I'm trying to say from that. Is that I don't look at their fixtures and go.
They fight.
I don't look at those fixtures and go, oh, where's the next one coming from? There's easily points available for them. So they'll be fine. I think ultimately Cardiff. I think that the guys in the bottom three are done personally. Regardless of wins that have been picked up here, there, or everywhere. I think it was Derby's first win in 13.
It was their first win of 2025.
Yeah, there you go. And they'll be out obviously well happy about the fact that they got a win. They'll be thinking that Eustace, the Snake, has got them over the line against his former team, but they're going down. So
going down.
Yeah.
But none of them are going down swinging, are they?
No. Well, out of everyone, they took a swing yesterday. Fair play to them.
Yeah,
the
they
others
did.
Didn't. So
Right, but that's us done for this week. And remember, we got the Luton Town show, so you can commiserate with us and listen to us wax lyrical about how bad Luton Town are.
Say that, I'm going home now.
No, stay. Remember to subscribe to our channel for even more championship content. Big thank you to our host, the Bricklayers Arms in Luton. It's right next to the station, wherever you are in the country. Come on down, whoever you support. Just don't come here on match days if you're not a Luton fan. But otherwise, if you're next to the station, if you're in Luton, and you're waiting for a train, come down here. They've got board games, good beer on tap, good company. Big thank you to Black Star Amplification for giving us the audio equipment that we need to record this podcast. And a big thank you to our pod sponsors, the Record Shop in Amersham. Again, wherever you are in the country, head on down to Amersham. It's probably the best record shop in the UK. And that is a bold claim, isn't it?
That is a bold claim. But I was actually there yesterday.
Yeah,
spent too much money again, but I was there.
You always do.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. That's the thing I would say. If you're going to go down there, go and enjoy yourselves, but also make sure that it's a bit closer to payday.
as Neil Warnock would say, enjoy it by all means, but enjoy it by being financially disciplined. But that's all. Whoever you support, have a great week, everyone. Take care.
See ya.
See ya.